Hi, my name is Gus Baxter, and I am the owner of Atlas Readings, LLC, an intuitive life coaching company. Thank you so much for spending this week with me. I know we talked about who I was on Monday, my tarot journey, and some tarot myths on Tuesday. I gave you a walkthrough of my free tarot ebook, Tarot Journaling, a beginner's reference to guided journaling on Wednesday. Today, we're just going to kind of hang out and do a Q&A. And if you see me move, I have a St. Bernard right behind me, and he is the one that dictates where he sits. So, yesterday I asked for some questions, and I'm going to answer them. So to start, Chris asks, does your mood influence your tarot readings? Yes and no. On a personal level, if I'm working, with myself for myself, yes. That's a time when I would reach out to another colleague or a friend and say, you know what, I'm really not in an objective mind space. I'm maybe really bent on what the outcome of this is going to be, and I'm not going to be able to have a separation. When I'm working with clients, I have a completely different experience, and I really look at that hour as an opportunity to leave myself behind and just be present with that person. And so it doesn't really matter what's happening in my life or what I'm feeling or what I'm going through, because for that hour, all of my focus is on that other person. Question number 2. Alex asks, how many sessions do you recommend for someone who is seeking coaching? This is going to be different for every coach. For me, since I'm helping you through transitions, I would say about 4 sessions, maybe over a month or 6 weeks. I think that gives you enough time that we can work together and really isolate where you are now and where you want to go. Build a scenario and build action steps for you to take, but especially to have accountability. And I think that's very, very important. To have, a coach, to have someone else who's standing with you, not in a judging way, not in a pressuring way, but in a supportive way, helping you get there and holding you accountable to the action steps that you want to take. Plus, as time goes on, session 1, everything might sound really great and, feeling really jazzed. Yeah, let's do this. And then comes session 2. Well, now some fears popped up. Well, now some doubts have come into my mind. That is when we really start to dig into maybe some limiting beliefs or ways in which you're kind of getting in your own way when it comes to becoming the person that you want to be, who's going to be able to achieve all of these great things. So I would say about 4 sessions, maybe in a month, maybe a 4-week investment. Devin asks, how does coaching work? And actually Mark asks, therapy versus coaching. And I imagine he means, what the differences or the similarities are. So I'm going to answer both of these questions together, I think. Therapy. Are you going to be okay? All right. Therapy is going to help you process what's going on in your life currently. The situations, the thoughts that you have, the emotions that you're feeling, and process them in a healthy and understanding way. Therapy is also going to want to go back into your past to look at situations and events and maybe traumas and heal them or reconcile them in some way to help you create a more strong and stable foundation in your present. All right, give me 1 second, everybody. Go ahead. Get out of here. Thank you. My dog decided that he didn't want to be in here anymore. Where was I? Therapy versus coaching. So therapy is going to work to help you create a strong foundation in your present. And that usually involves going into your past, healing and reconciling past events, and seeing how that connects with the way that you're feeling in the present or the way that you're dealing with things. Coaching is also going to help you process what's happening presently your situations, your thought patterns, your feelings and emotions. But coaching is going to assume where you are right now is a stable foundation. So we're not really all that worried about how things happened in the past or what, your past experiences were. They certainly may come up with certain fears, but to dwell on the past, in terms of coaching isn't necessarily all that beneficial, because we're really looking towards the future. And, my perspective, although fears do often start in the past and we may jump back to sort of reconcile some of those if they're really becoming blocks towards moving forward. But I like to express to my clients that what happened in the past is done. We can't teleport back there and change it or say something different or do something different. What happened has happened. What we can do, what we can focus on, is our present and our future. That is where we have control. That is where we have the opportunity to change. And if there's something that happened in the past that we don't like, that we wish we could do differently, we can. We have every opportunity in the present to do that differently. My style of coaching focuses on transitions. So these periods of time when, you're in between one thing and another. And so, in terms of how coaching works, I would help you really understand what it is you want and where you want to go. And I especially want to help you challenge the fears and the insecurities that come with being in this limbo area, in this in-between. And being okay with that ambiguity that maybe I don't know what's going to happen right now, or maybe I am, unsure of what my next destination is. And that's okay. I can actually sit in this experience and in this feeling, and it might not be the most comfortable thing that I've done, but I can do it. And I know that I can do it and make a strong, wise decision moving forward, not just jump and leap at the first opportunity and just hope that it works out. I can make a well-informed decision. Katie asks, you've mentioned a lot about your previous experience and doing things that feel right as opposed to what you're supposed to be doing. How long did it take for you to reach that mindset? What do you recommend for young adults like you who feel that immense pressure to do things out of pure obligation? This is a phenomenal question. And for me, I am in my early 30s. It took me about the length of my 20s to figure this out for myself. When it comes to helping other people and the advice that I would give to other young people and young professionals and people of any age who are feeling that pressure to do things out of obligation or to follow in the footsteps of certain people or to fulfill the expectations of others. I think there's a fear that comes with that. A lot of people have lost employment recently. I'm no stranger to that myself. And I think when that happens, as an example, maybe in the beginning you think, well, you know what? I'm kind of free. I can do whatever. I have some time on my hands. Maybe this isn't going to be so bad. And then those thoughts start popping in of, well, how am I going to pay my bills? And how much burden can my savings account actually handle? And how long is this going to last? When can I actually get hired? And that starts to sort of swirl around and create this whirlpool of uncertainty and fear. And all of those fears that really are unanswerable begin to really eat away at us. And that's when, you might have someone saying, well, you should do this, or, I did XYZ and that worked for me. And when we're in that state, logic is almost absent. And we don't necessarily think it through and really see how it's going to progress in our own lives. We just say, oh, that worked for that person. So-and-so tried that method and that worked for them. Great, done. I'll sign me up. And maybe that is going to work out for you. But we run the risk of jumping and making these split-second decisions that oftentimes don't work out the way we want them to. And that continues that cycle of feeling fear and feeling obligation and feeling like you don't know the right way to go. So I got to look to the next person who's going to tell me what to do. This mindset and challenging this mindset came with challenging a lot of fear, a lot of uncertainty, and just challenging the idea that people knew better than I did. I think we like to look up to people and like to think, oh, well, they figured it out, or that's a path to take. And the truth of that matter is that there is no path to take. You get to do your own thing. You get to forge your own path every single day. And your life path will always be different from someone else's. Otherwise, our world would be pretty boring. So challenging that fear of, I don't know what to do, and I don't have the authority to make those decisions because I'm young, because I don't have that degree, or I don't have that experience. It's not true. It is absolutely not true. And then I think we reach out for obligation, and we reach out for the responsibilities that other people put on us because it gives us a certain amount of security. It makes us feel like, well, if I just stay here, if I just do what I'm being told to do, everything's going to work out. That gives away a lot of personal power. That gives a lot of your personal authority to somebody else. And in my case, I still enjoyed where I was when I got there. But I think I would have enjoyed it more, and I would have felt more connected if I had taken those decisions and made them on truly my own authority and not giving some of that authority away to someone else. So when it comes to changing this mindset, whether you decide to work with me, whether you decide to work with any coach, whether you decide to confide in a spiritual leader, a religious leader, a parent or a guardian, someone who you can have a truly honest and judgment-free conversation about all of this with, that's when you can start challenging these fears, challenging the burdens of responsibility, and finding your own authority to make these decisions for yourself. And you can realize everybody is just figuring it out. There are no wrong answers in life. You are going to be okay, you are going to be strong, and you're going to succeed. So that closes our Q&A for today. Tomorrow, our Friday live, our last live for this week, I'm going to talk about success and what success might mean to you in COVID-19. I look forward to talking to you tomorrow. See ya.